Hey you guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're playing some Raid Shadow Legends. For today's video, I really want to highlight Sun Wukong and what makes him such a good legendary champion. Sun Wukong is a legendary champion you can actually get for free, and I will go over that, but I can actually get you another legendary champion on day one, again for free. All you need to do is download the game using my link down in that description box below. You could also scan that QR code that's on the screen. By doing that, you're going to get yourself Elenaril, and I will send her right into your inbox. So again, that is a free legendary champion on that first day that you are starting Raid, as long as you're using my link. And at level 25, I'll also send you Uugo, so it is the best start for your account. The reason that you want to start a new account is not only so you can get that Elenaril by using my link, but also because if you enter a code within 72 hours, you get a champion. So there's a number of different codes that you can actually enter. It's called a new player code, and you can only use one of these, so you definitely want to pick wisely. But the code that I suggest is using the code Monkey King, and that is what gets you that free legendary champion, Sun Wukong. One thing to note though is he's only here for a limited time as an available code to use, so you only have until October the 31st to actually do that. So you are going to want to enter that as soon as you're downloading the game and before the 31st of October so you can take advantage and get that free legendary. Part of what makes Sun Wukong so good is the fact that you can actually use him both in PvP and PvE aspects. We are going to go over all his skills first, and then I'm going to talk about how you can use him in different ways. Sun Wukong is a part of the Skinwalkers faction, and you can find him with that spirit affinity. So he is a legendary attack type, and looking at his first skill, it's a single target hit, so he will attack an enemy, but he does have a chance of placing a stun debuff on them. And if that enemy has any buffs on them, then the chance to stun is actually going to increase. So this right here is huge if you're thinking about using him in arena, for example, because typically that enemy team is going to place some buffs on them. So if they have buffs, he's actually going to be able to stun them and then take them out for a turn. His second skill is going to attack an enemy, and you actually have that chance of ignoring 50% of their defense. So being able to ignore defense, you can get quite a bit of damage off that. But with the part of the skill, it is going to attack all the remaining enemies with any surplus damage if that target is actually killed. So if he's able to ignore part of the defense and actually kill him, more damage is going to go to the rest of the enemies, and that's also going to ignore 50% of the target's defense. Although the attack cannot be critical, you can still get a huge amount of damage from it. Now, if that target is going to survive, so you're not able to kill the target that you're aiming for there, then it's just going to place a sheep debuff on them for a turn, and that debuff cannot be blocked. So again, you can see where that is useful and how that might work in a situation like arena. And the third skill is a skill that we're going to love because it is an AoE, and anytime you can attack all enemies, that is huge. The really great part about this skill is not only is it an AoE where he is attacking everyone, but he's also going to steal all the buffs from all those enemies and then even place the block buff debuff on them for 2 turns. So not only you're going into there, you're taking their buffs, you're going to block them from being able to buff up even more, and then you're going to attack everyone. So that's really useful anywhere. You can see that in the PvE aspect, but really in arena, same thing. You're going to be able to actually take their buffs, prevent them from being able to buff as well while you hit everyone. So honestly, fantastic third skill. And we cannot ignore this passive because this is one of those reasons that it does make him a really good and strong legendary. So it is a passive skill where he can actually revive himself with 100% HP and 100% turn meter for 3 turns after he's killed. So as long as you have somebody else on the battlefield alive, he'll be able to do that self-revive, and you will see the damage that he can do from that as we move into actually showing him in different parts of the game. But before all of that, I also want to mention part of why he is so good in arena, and one of the places he shines is the leader skill, which increases ally speed in arena by 28%. And as we know with Raid, speed is everything. When it comes to the gear that you actually want to use on him, this can vary depending if you're aiming more for the PvE aspect, which typically you probably are going to be starting out. So you're downloading him day one. You may as well use him in your campaign as your farmer. Make your life easier. Don't worry about like leveling up a starter champ, worrying about like the 3 stars. So I'm setting you up pretty well. You'll have Elenaril, you'll have him. I do always suggest, though, whoever you're using as your dedicated campaign farmer, so if this is going to be Sun Wukong, you do want the lifesteal gear set on him because that's going to be one of the best ones that you can put really on any of your campaign farmers. Lifesteal is huge, so that is definitely one of the sets I would recommend for him for PvE. And then your secondary set, you can either do that speed or the perception. if you are planning to strictly use him PvP, like you want him to be like arena, you're probably going to want that speed on him, and again, maybe the perception, so you do have a little bit more accuracy, but you are really aiming for those type of stats. So you're aiming for that speed, you're aiming for the crit damage, crit rate, and attack. Part of what makes him shine in that campaign mode is the fact that yes, he does have the AoE, so although he has 2 of the single target skills, the AoE is really nice for getting through waves, but he is also kind of self-reliant. Like I said, you're putting on that lifesteal gear set on him. He is able to kind of keep himself buffed, so I do think he is a great choice for that starter champion. You'll see I'm able to run a campaign mode with strictly him and 3 fodder, and he does a great job. Early on, you're also not really going for speed, and that's something to consider. So later on when you're doing your campaign, you're going to be farming your 12-3 or your 12-6, and you're going to be farming that on your brutal mode. You want it to be as fast as possible. That's a little bit different. That is where you are aiming for like speed specifically. You're trying to do it as quick as you can. But again, if you just got Sun Wukong and you are starting the game early on, he is a great choice for you to actually use in campaign. You may as well utilize him here, take advantage of that. And then eventually when you have more of a dedicated campaign farmer, then you can move him over to like the PvP aspects and try him out in arena. I will say though, even on his like lifesteal gear set, and even as I'm using him in campaign, I'm still using him in other areas of the game. I've also been using him in some of my dungeons, and for the time being, he's been absolutely fine in there. It's nice that he does have that passive with the revive as well, because if he dies, typically I'll have somebody else alive. He's able to pop back up, and it really just keeps things going in the dungeons. He's able to do them. So as of right now, I'm actually using him in all of my PvE aspects. Even though we're kind of focused on campaign and saying that's where he's great, he's still going to be useful other places for now. I will later on move him into more of a dedicated PvP role, which is totally fine. At that point, I'll take off his lifesteal gear set, and then I will focus more on the speed and the perception and getting those stats up. So you'll see that he is quite versatile in that way. We've already talked about why he is great for arena and why you'd want to use him here, but you can see anytime that I'm running it, I do have him. I utilize his leader skill to help the rest of my team move quicker, and so far I have not moved him out of his slot. So I do still have, like I said, his lifesteal gear set on. That's fine. I do really utilize his AoE skills, his first, like, all of the support that he provides in terms of stealing buffs, doing the block debuffs, having the AoE skills, having that chance to stun, and then having his revive. So typically he will die because I don't necessarily have him like with a ton of HP, which is fine because then he comes back to life, and then you'll kind of see that as we're going through arena. So he has been a core part of my arena team. And like I said, even on like the gear set I have on him, I'm still able to really utilize him everywhere in the game. And that is part of what makes him so good, is that he is versatile and you're not just stuck using a champion and be like, okay, he's good for this one thing. But again, he's got the speed lead skill, and that is something that is huge because that's something that you will really utilize in your arena. So after talking about Sun Wukong a little bit and showing you his skills, I hope I've shown you why I think he is the best starter code to use. So again, that starter code is going to be Monkey King. Enter it within 72 hours of downloading the game, which I know you used my link to download because why would you not want to get yourself free Elenaril on that first day? And of course, keep in mind that he will be gone after October the 31st as a new player code, and we don't know when he'll come back or if he will come back. So you may as well go ahead and get him for free now. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and comment down below your thoughts on Sun Wukong and where you're currently using him. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Next level.